Because no one watches TV anymore and Judith Charms is almost dead, travel programs just aren't a thing now. Plus, why sit and watch a program about holiday destinations when you can just go online and look at the places instead? Plus, it's all very well knowing how much a half-board holiday in the Balearics is, but they won't tell you how many Africans will be hanging around outside the hotel trying to steal your pesos. There are now multiple channels on YouTube dedicated to people showing you the delights of all the places you'd like to visit or wouldn't set foot in. Sadly, most of them are vacuous retards who spend most of their time talking about themselves, how wonderful diversity is, and not really understanding where they are. 80% of their videos are slow motion shots of them posing on a bridge or eating a fucking ice cream. A few weeks ago, however, whilst going down the YouTube travel rabbit hole, a video appeared which bucked this trend. He wasn't a young influencer dressed in designer gear, he was an older gent with a different style, a mix between Alan Partridge and a dodgy geography teacher. Meet Dennis Cullen.
Over 400 movies all about the world, especially a beautiful place to visit. You can take the train. A lot of our videos are going by train. That's one of the wonderful ways to travel when you're in Europe, of course. And we show you how to do it.
Thanks Dennis, I've never used a train before.
Union Station, what a spot. Shops and restaurants all around you. All of those museums are free. So you see how close our hotel is to the mall. Taking you on a tour of Scotland. New York City is just walking around. Just one. So if you need a diamond necklace, diamond earrings, diamond ring, this is the place to buy it. Interior, and you can sit down and rest if you like, and there's also toilets in there that you can use too.
Yes, his highlights of anywhere he goes is how close the shopping centres are and what they have in them, regardless of the city. But aside from that, his over 800 videos cover pretty much everywhere, and in between the awkward moments of him rambling about having a rest against a wall or a tree, or spending hours watching a watermill going round and round, I'm not joking, you actually learn about the places he's in. Also, he's so old school he calls every video a movie. He's also an inventor, as you're about to see here, demonstrating with Mystery Ming's mum, also known as his wife.
This simple head strap can give you the comfort of a first-class seat, especially useful when you're trying to get some sleep. And you can make it from materials that cost practically nothing. A strip of fabric, some rubber bands, and a paper clip. It's a free upgrade. But what's the point? Well, the idea is this is going to hold your head very snug, allowing you to get comfortable and totally relax. It's also very easy to remove it, and then it could fit in your pocket, it's so small. Typical neck pillows actually prevent your head
I can't help but wonder if that's their daughter too embarrassed to sit with them.
get into if you're trying to relax or sleep. With the strap set up in position, all you do is sit down and put your head inside the strap and relax. When properly adjusted, which is quite simple to do, it's going to hold your head nice and snug. You'll be in a good, firm position without your head dropping down all the time. It's easy to make. Just sew a loop at each end of your strip of fabric. Then attach some connected rubber bands to the loop. And then a simple paper clip is all you need to connect the strap together. It can be adjusted to fit any sized head. One size fits all.
Not Shaniqua's though, it might get caught up in her weave.
The strap can be adapted to fit any airplane seat without bothering the person sitting behind you.
Unless the person behind you is a child, or a person of colour who won't help but flick it.
You might be wondering, how much will this cost and where can I buy one? Well, you could probably put it together with materials that you already have, so the cost could be free. And as far as buying it, no, it's not for sale. I invented this little device and am offering it to you for free. I place it into the public domain. So don't try and patent it and sell it for $1 gazillion. It's free.
Don't let the tribe's people patent it, Dennis. It's all yours. But thank you, I'll try that when I'm next on a plane. So if you're going on holiday, see if he's been there and enjoy an awkward few minutes with this enthusiastic old gentleman. and leave a nice comment on his YouTube. When I went to Australia 19 years ago, smartphones didn't exist, so thankfully there is no video of me there, and whilst it would be nice to watch back and reminisce, it would also be very embarrassing, because when you go away for a year on your own and you're surrounded by other people doing the same thing as young adults, you get up to all sorts of hijinks that, whilst they seem like fun at the time, and they were, I wouldn't encourage or condone now. Pupils like saucers, what a dickhead. Fun though. But anyway, let's look at what's happening with our Aussie mates. From July, Australian doctors are going to be allowed to prescribe MDMA for post-traumatic stress. Amazing. It definitely helped with our post-traumatic stress when we were there 19 years ago. Now, it will still be classed as an illegal substance unless your doctor gives it to you to cheer you up, but then massively bring you down afterwards. What's that? You want to sit in your garden, soaking up the rays, and working from home so you don't have to hang around with abos? Well, you can do, but despite the fact you're still working at home, you still need to prove that you're fully vaccinated if you live in Victoria in Australia. Come on now. They're also considering legalising marijuana because it can net them $28 billion by people growing 6 plants in their garden. So of course, they're going to let people grow them, but then charge people for it as well. Remember, don't take drugs. Although there was one day when we got absolutely stoned in Cairns, I thought it'd be funny to climb up the local fire tower, sit at the top and get stoned again. My, I am embarrassed. Aryna Sabalenka recently won the tournament in Australian tennis. Unfortunately, they've not put her country on the trophy. Why is that? Because she's from Belarus.
Bill Gates is backing an Australian startup that is trying to stop cows from burping methane. All right, Ashley, this one's for you. How are they going to do it?
It's the story I've been dreaming of. It's like Beano for cows, essentially, Stu. A Perth-based company developing a supplement for livestock made from synthetic replicated bromoform. What the heck's that? Well, it's an active ingredient that's found in red seaweed. And according to one study, giving cows seaweed in their feed could cut 98% of their methane emissions. Who would have thunk it? Bill Gates has joined a slew of billionaires, by the way, investing in the technology. As we know, Gates has been an outspoken critic of the livestock industry and has backed other firms such as Beyond Meat and Impossible. Livestock accounts for almost 1/3 of man-made emissions of methane, the biggest contributor to global warming after carbon dioxide.
Novak Djokovic's Australian Open campaign has been hijacked by his own father, filmed posing alongside pro-Russian protesters at last night's Australian Open quarter-final. The 4 fans also clashed with security and were eventually evicted from Melbourne Park.
The parents of Novak Djokovic thrust into the spotlight after his quarter-final win. Inside Rod Laver Arena, spectators spontaneously sang happy birthday to the Serbian's mother.
Happy birthday to you.
Outside the arena, his father stirred a different response, posing for photographs with pro-Russian protesters who unfurled flags and signs featuring Vladimir Putin. Those who filmed the video claim he said, "Long live the Russians," as he walked away. At least one man donned a shirt emblazoned with a pro-war symbol, despite a strict ban enforced by Tennis Australia.
This is a political stance. The way they performed yesterday just showed that this had nothing to do with sport. You can't hide behind sport.
In a statement, Tennis Australia said 4 people in the crowd leaving the stadium revealed inappropriate flags and symbols and threatened security guards. Victoria Police intervened. The comfort and safety of everyone is our priority.
This sort of behaviour, it's disruptive, it's disrespectful and it's unacceptable.
Since the invasion of Ukraine, players from Russia and Belarus have typically only been able to enter a Grand Slam under a neutral white flag. The local Ukrainian community here in Melbourne want to see Tennis Australia take that rule one step further.
We oppose Russian players playing. It's got nothing to do with individual. It's the fact that Russia is the aggressor and should not be allowed to be having the opportunity to promote itself.
Steph Baumgartel for 10 News First.
Now, it wasn't all sitting around together getting drunk and stoned. Occasionally we went out and got drunk as well. This time we met Alf Stewart, the legend himself. I never got to meet Steve Irwin though, unfortunately. He was away on the day we went to Brisbane Zoo. Now, we all know Woolworths is the store that closed, and you only went to at Christmas anyway. But in Australia, Woolworths is a supermarket, but they're closing their butcher sections. Why is that? Aren't people going to want to eat meat no more? It's a farming country. I don't think this is going to end well.
I'll tell you what, don't worry about pandemics. You want to know, there's a couple of pandemics that come straight to my mind. What about when you walk past a cafe, you know, and there's 4 young ladies or a couple of blokes and a couple of young girls, you know, meeting up for lunch, but not one of them is talking to each other. It's just this. That's what they're doing. Why the fuck did you meet up for lunch in the first place? We ain't going to talk to each other. You ain't going to converse. You ain't going to laugh. What the fuck are you doing? That's a pandemic. And the other pandemic is when I'm walking through the shopping centre or on the footpath down here at the local shops and I get some young person or anybody really, they don't have to be young, and they're walking towards me like this. And as they come towards me, they go, wow, fuck! Like, fucking idiot. And they shit themselves. They go, get off your fucking phone. You're going to walk along, watch where you're going. It's a bit of a joke, but I've done it a million times. Ah! Fucking hell. They cannot get off their fucking gadgets for fucking 2 minutes.
In 2022, there was a 17% increase in Australia in heart attacks. Now, we're not quite sure what's caused it. It's probably all the meat they're eating, so it's a good job Woolworths is closing all its butchers. I'd highly recommend you visit Australia when it goes back to normal, if it ever will. It was a great year spent there, and everyone I met outside of the abos were lovely. I would imagine it was changed a fair bit since I was there last, but out in the small towns in the middle of nowhere, where we got up to most of the mischief, it's probably not that much different. I'd like to think not anyway. Maybe Dawn Browning will let you stay in her garden if you ask nicely. Anyway, we need to see if Mystery Ming has the film ready for the review tomorrow. We'll take that as a no. Off you go then. Ta-ta for now. If you enjoyed this video or thought it's slightly less shit than the others, you can always buy us a cuppa on Ko-fi, and thank you in advance if you do.